Today, I'm going to let you in on a secret that all of the Ferrari connoisseur collectors already know, and they don't want you to know. So let's talk about first how I got there. Well, we're going to start with what you already know, the 458 Speciale Aperta. I bought this car, full disclosure, bought this car about 4 years ago. You guys may have seen the flood video, so this is my second one that I own. My first one flooded during Hurricane Harvey. Took us about 3 years to find another car that was the right spec, right in the right deal. We bought this car about 4 years ago at $580,000. Everybody knows about this car, one of 499 ever made. Look at the values today. This car is between $1.3 to $1.5 million today. Currently, that's tripled in value in 4 years. Why? Natural aspirated, phenomenal driving, handling car, one of 499 units produced. Here we have our 1974 Dino GTS. Completely different end of the spectrum from the 458 Speciale Aperta, but to prove the point, about 10, 15 years ago, we almost couldn't give these cars away. They were trading at $75 to $100, maybe $125,000. Check out the two most recent ones that have sold on Bring a Trailer, just over $1 million. We bought this car just a few years ago, chronicled cold along what we've done to do a mechanical restoration of the car, put about another $48,000 into it. We're probably gonna bring this to a concourse level. Bottom line though, I paid less than $500,000 for this car, and it's already trading just a smidge over $1 million. If that's not proof positive enough for you about what I'm about to tell you about, look at the Ferrari F50. Just spoke with brokers yesterday, said you can't even think of touching a yellow F50 for less than $6.5 million. Here's a heartbreaker for me. While we were on the F50 cavalcade, I met a gentleman who had a yellow F50, bought it in 2018, 7 years ago. He paid $800,000 for this car. My point is, once the market catches on to some of these cars, they explode in value. All the big collectors start fighting over them, and then these cars get to numbers like this that are absolutely unreachable for not only the average person, even for pretty wealthy to-do people. How many people can spend $6.5, $7 million on a car, $1 million on a car, $1.4, $1.5 million on a car? Which brings me to this car, the 2009 Ferrari 16M. One of 499 units made. This car is built off the Scuderia. Everybody remembers the F430. Good car, I'm gonna be honest, not a great car unless you find a gated manual, and boy have those two exploded in values. This car takes it to another level. Ferrari built it to celebrate their 16th Constructors' Championship win. Currently, the way things are going in F1, number 17 still seems to be a good ways away.
Have the seat full of water, like full of water.
Must be the water.
This car is unbelievable to drive. Even for the Scuderia, the coupe version is amazing. I think a Scuderia on track is better than a base model 458. Now, once you get into Speciale, obviously that takes it to another level. Strip down, you know the formula. Take the 430, crank it up to another level, stiffen up the suspension, and pull out a couple hundred pounds of weight. That's usually what they do, but they really got it right with this car. The other thing that they did is they really refined and retuned that early single clutch F1 transmission. This car today is the best single clutch gearbox of any brand ever, period, end of story. And everyone else I've ever spoke with completely agrees. If you've driven a Scuderia or 16M, this is as good as a single clutch gearbox could ever be. Right now, these are trading right around $400,000. If we look at what's happened with the 458 Speciale Aperta, one of 499 units produced. Ferrari Enzos have exploded in value, 399 produced. Of course, there was 400, there was one for the Pope. Even our LaFerrari has shot up even more so in value. It's amazing to me. It just seems to be almost no end to where some of these blue chip cars are going to in values. This car, I'm here to tell you right now, minimum will double in value in the very, very near future. With all that being said, Yes, it's going to be a great and tremendous return on your investment. How amazing is it to drive? It's absolutely one of my favorite Ferraris to drive. Let's get this thing out on the road and let me show you why. And believe you me, it's spinning in every gear, and these tires have really been warmed up. God, this car just kicks you in the back of the head when it shifts, but more on that later. You see these manufacturers come out with these cars, and it's, you know, the track version, whatever. There's always some truth to it for sure. It's always a good bit of marketing, especially back then. 2009, it was only the second time they'd made a track version for the road car. They did the Challenge Stradale in 2004, and I do love that car. At that time, I had never driven a Challenge Stradale, and the Scuderia is a phenomenal car, and anyone looking to buy one, I would say yes, do it. Just do it! And then came the 16M, and it's basically a Scuderia with a drop top, but produced in much more limited numbers. One of only 499 ever made. And when you take the elements of all the things that made the Scuderia, what I think so great, and then you add a drop top element to it, it allows you to experience all the things that made the Scuderia so great, but with no top. So now you're that much more connected to the car, the sounds, whether it be the exhaust note, the mechanical sounds of that engine running, the gearbox shifting. You are so much part of everything that makes the car so special and so great. When you make a phenomenal driver's car and you make it a convertible, you just get so much more connected with all the things that makes that car such a great driver's car. Everything's more fun when you take the top off. That applies to all factors in life. Trust me on that one. And the other big factor with this car, this is the first time Ferrari made a track version road car with a drop top. And until the recent SF90 Spider, it was the last time Ferrari made a drop top of any variant where you could still have that clear engine cover so you could see the engine even in the Spider conversion. If you look at the 458, the 488 Pistas, all those cars, when you got to the Spider version, you lost the ability to see that engine. And to me, that was a huge loss. I mean, the engine's the heart and soul of the car and what makes it so great and wonderful. And to not be able to see that, I thought was a huge takeaway. And Ferrari didn't bring that back until the SF90. So this car really stood out as not only being the first drop top track version of a Ferrari, but also the last one to keep that clear engine bonnet, which really adds to the overall beauty and experience of the car. One of the big upgrades that Ferrari did on the Scuderia, of course kept it on the 16M, are the carbon ceramic brakes. That is absolutely vital to how a car performs, not only on the road, but especially on track. Braking in this car, and I got no traffic behind me, I'm going about 70 miles an hour. Like nothing. I mean, just brings you an absolute dead stop. Visibility is fantastic in this car with the top up or down. Absolutely fantastic. It was great in the 430. But with a car of this level of performance, usually you're compromising visibility, ride comfort, things like that. And for this to be a 2009, it's what, 16 years old as of the day we're filming this car. That technology in this car should be really feeling its age. And I gotta tell you that it feels even greater today because this car is so alive in your hands. I'm telling you now, this car gives you maybe 95% of all the special thrills that make the 458 Speciale Aperta everything that it is at a, I don't know, $1.4, $1.5 million car today. You get all that in this car for currently around $400,000, and believe you me, that price will not last long at all. For $400,000, you go get a brand new SF90. And if you want the latest and greatest and the fastest thing from Ferrari, that's an absolute bargain. 1,000 horsepower car for $400,000. But I would argue that this car, although it does not have 1,000 horsepower, it's got way more soul, way more feel. Just listen to this beast. And listen to these downshifts. You want to talk about a car that just makes you smile ear to ear. This one delivers in spades. And when you look at where the values have gotten to be on even the Speciale coupes now are selling for $750,000 to $800,000. That's double what this car is, and the Specialty Coupes are far more mass produced. I think there's what, 2,300 of those, depending on which numbers you believe. This car is so far undervalued, it's not even funny. All of the guys that have these cars, have driven these cars, we all already know, and we're grateful we've been able to buy them up now before all of you found out. They want to keep it a secret. I figure that's BS. Let everybody else out there know, hey, you want an amazing driving car and an incredible investment? This is the car. Listen, it's nowhere near as fast as the steering of Ferraris of today. Even in the 458, the steering is much quicker. But with this car, where it may not be quite as fast as the cars that came after it, it's got tremendous feel. And every time I do reviews on cars, I talk about steering feel. Steering and steering feel, that's your direct connection to the car and the pavement. That's where, when I'm on a racetrack or on the road, I'm judging what kind of grip I've got by the feedback I'm getting through the steering wheel. And when we get steering that's faster and faster, that means it's got more electronic assist, faster servos, things like that. The more you add to that, yes, you get faster steering response, but you're giving up your connection with the road. This car, I think, absolutely nails the speed of the steering relative to this chassis and this power plant, and giving you the maximum feel of your contact patch with the road to understand how hard can I really push this car in this corner, given the level of grip I've got on that pavement. That's the difference of maximizing your entry and exit speed in the corner and ending up in a ditch. I think the gearbox in this car is probably one of its most special elements. I think this gearbox in 2009 is as good or better than the gearbox that's in my Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. It's not as fast as the gearbox in the 458. It's certainly nowhere near as fast as the gearbox that's in modern 296s and the SF90s. But on the road, this adds so much more drama and theater to how this car shifts and performs. It's a very fast gearbox, and it shifts so hard. You literally feel like it's going to snap the drivetrain. Creature comforts in the cabin. This car is stripped out. As per usual in Ferrari's track versions, there's no carpets. That's all stripped out. They made this car significantly lighter than the 430. You got the carbon fiber door cards. I can't help myself. You can't not just work your way up the rev range with this gearbox and that engine. God almighty. Radio, JBL sound system, it sounds like crap. And do I care? No. I turned that radio on one time when I bought it just to make sure it works. I'm not in these cars to listen to the radio. I'm in these cars to drive them hard, and listen to the greatest symphony known to man. It's one of the first cars to come out with the, I call it bumpy road mode. And this was a Michael Schumacher development. He wanted that in this car. And I'll tell you, as soon as I get in the car, I keep it in race mode. First thing I do, I hit bumpy road mode. The roads where I live, and probably where you live, are not all that great. So I don't want to be beat to death. And that slacks off the suspension of this car just enough that it's still very stiff. It's still going to corner very, very well, especially on public roads. But it really dampens off the ride quality just enough where I can enjoy driving this car all day long. So the suspension is absolutely nailed on this car. I don't think, for this car and for the technology available at that time, I don't think there was anything Ferrari could have done to make the suspension on this car any better. When I first was looking at buying this car, first time I drove it, came back to the dealership, immediately opened the engine compartment to see what aftermarket exhaust system was put on this car. I was blown away to see that this is the stock exhaust system in this car. It's loud. It absolutely's got this amazing but very unique, I don't know, grunt, growl, howl. This one howl like no other Ferrari I've ever heard. Even with aftermarket exhaust systems in them, I've never heard one howl the way this one does. But yet, I can go up the gears, and it's not obnoxious. Ferrari's hardcore track version, and it's fantastic. I love the gauges in this car as well. They're not all digital like you get in the 296s and the SF90s and all the current variants. You still have analog needles that go up and down for everything from your speedometer, your tachometer. You get a little bit of digital gauges, sub-dials in there, tells you what gear you're in, tells me right now I'm in race mode with the F1S. It's a very early version of some digital gauges, but I like that. It really harkens back to the time this car was built in, period correct. The AC, believe it or not, it's hot today here in Houston, Texas. We're rolling into summer, and the heat and humidity lets you know they kick it on pretty early down here in the south. It gets hot quick, but got the AC blowing. It blows really nice and cold, blows strong. I'm completely comfortable sitting here chatting with you guys top down. I'm probably going to end up driving this car for well over an hour doing this review. I'm completely comfortable in this car, even with the top down in the Texas heat. That really says something. Reliability. I've had this car for about 4 years. I've put just under 5,000 miles on this car. We've done zero maintenance to this car. It has been a phenomenal car, very reliable. As you know, I drive it and drive it very hard. In fact, the only thing, and I completely forgot we'd had it done, but I put the top down, get ready to bring you guys this review, and I remembered this Alcantara material here on the sun visors was a little faded, and I had that re-dyed black. They re-dyed the stitching here back in red. They look brand new. I don't know, maybe 200 bucks spent on that. Other than that, we've done nothing, absolutely nothing with this car. God. Car is just a monster. The other thing crazy about this car's got a lot of storage. The front, up front, easily get 2 weekend bags and maybe a couple other small things in the front. Easily take this car on a weekend trip. You can pack everything you need up there. Believe it or not, there's this back shelf here right behind me. Bring the seats up forward just a little bit, not too much. We're able to stack 2 sets of golf clubs, my clubs, her clubs, on top of one another, right behind the seat. And it's such a very known fact of how much storage capacity is actually in these cars. You know, we've got 28 cars in our car collection. And as you guys know, I drive just about every one of them all the time. Everything gets driven. So for me to put over 1,000 miles on average per year on a car with that many cars to drive is really saying something of how useful this car is in so many different scenarios. Doesn't matter whether it's Saturday morning and I'm looking to go drive like a maniac and pray to God I don't get pulled over by the cops, or I want to drive something fun but take my wife to dinner. This car can do it all. And we want to do a weekend trip. I haven't driven this car in a while. Absolutely. Throw the clubs behind the seat, load up the front trunk with everything we need for the weekend, and let's go. We're out of there. This car does it all, and yet it does it in a way that when you want to absolutely get down and dirty, like I said, it's a savage. Ferrari 16M, the convertible, the Spider version of the Scuderia. And I hope you guys got to see how difficult it was for me to continue to tell you about this car in a review because of my overall joy of driving this car. As I said, it's an absolute savage beast. That exhaust note's got the howl that we all dream of when we think of these dream car Ferraris. And yes, it's even more raw, more visceral than the 458 Speciale and Speciale Aperta, made only in 499 units. And listen guys, for the guys that have been collecting Ferraris, they already knew this was going to be the next big boom in value. Myself, the guys that I know, I bought this car 4 years ago. I felt like I was going to be a little too late to the party because we all knew it was just a matter of time for the market at large catches on. And everybody I know has been trying to get their hands on a good, clean version of this car because there's only about 120, 122 that ever came to the United States. These guys have been trying to get their hands on the best versions that they can before everyone else in the market at large finds out or rediscovers or recalls this car, because once they do, they're going to do exactly what the F40, the F50, the Enzo, the 599 GTOs, the TDF, the 458 Speciale Aperta, they've all exploded in values and have continued to go. They have not plateaued. This car is the next one. It delivers 95% of what a $1.4, $1.5 million 458 Speciale Aperta does. The Speciale Coupes are trading at $750,000 to $800,000. At $400,000, there's no way. It's guaranteed to at least double in value. It's been Ferrari's best kept secret, and now you're in on it too.